Hey everybody, welcome to Dub Talk Live, brought to you by FitAid. Dalton Johnson, Kerith, Burke here with you, digesting this Game 1 loss for the Warriors. A 5-point loss, a nail-biting finish. They tied it up, but the Lakers persevered in the end. So here we are again, talking about the Warriors being in a playoff series, losing the first game. We know that they survived in 7 games against the Kings when the Kings won the first 2. But how does this set the Warriors back on their heels? Just given the feel of this series, what are the implications of losing Game 1?
Yeah, you of course want to get that advantage right away, right? Especially at home. They're back in their comfort zone, back at Chase Center. You would think that they would really kind of take advantage of that right away. And at first it looked like that. They came out very strong. They looked like what Steve Kerr was saying, the team that was in rhythm right away. He felt like the rhythm could be an advantage over the Lakers' rest. And it was kind of this back and forth battle of rhythm versus rest the entire game. So of course you want to get that Game 1. Luckily, as you said, for the Warriors, this is their 3rd straight series where they've dropped Game 1. Ended up beating the Celtics in the NBA Finals in 6 games. Ended up beating the Sacramento Kings in 7 games.
Yes.
Right? So that you don't want to see this as a filled out game, but this was such a this is who the Lakers are, this is who the Warriors game are kind of game. That'll be very interesting seeing what Steve Kerr and the rest of his coaching staff adjust going forward.
We know the Lakers haven't played since Friday. The Warriors played 2 days ago, 48 hours ago. I didn't sense any fatigue, though. I don't think anybody's saying the word fatigue after this game.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I think that the Lakers, maybe in that 3rd quarter, looked a little more fresh, and that 3rd quarter was a big difference, obviously.
Yeah.
Right out of halftime, they came out strong and aggressive, started to hit a lot more 3-pointers, because obviously that was not their game from long distance by any means. But then, hey, the Warriors, they fought in that 4th quarter. They kind of came on really strong in those final few minutes. So they're not going to use that as, number one, an excuse, but also number 2 as a factor, as you were saying. I don't think it was the biggest difference by any means. Any kind of advantage you can find, they're going to try to find it. But I really don't think that little bit of rest really gave the Lakers that much of an advantage.
Okay, one of the simple things that we can look at immediately on the box score is that the Lakers scored in the paint, the Warriors went for 3. So the Warriors attempted 106 shots, half of them, exactly half were 3-point shots. And yeah, you got 6 threes from Steph and Klay and Jordan. We will talk about Jordan later in this show. But if it's going to be a series where it's going to be difficult for the Warriors to go inside, because we know the Lakers' interior defense is a lot different than what the Kings had, could this be a series where the Warriors live and die by the 3? And how do you feel about that?
That's sure how it felt in this game, right? I mean, it came down to a final 3-pointer in the final seconds there by Jordan Poole. And when I said just a little bit ago, kind of, this is who we thought they were with the Lakers, and this is who we thought they were with the Warriors. It was just such different contrasting styles. Let's just look at some of the numbers that you pointed out right here. The difference of points in the paint. 54 points to 28 points, a 26-point advantage for the Lakers. Free throws. The Lakers had a 20-point advantage from the free throw line.
Yeah, free throws.
And then obviously the 3-point line, the Warriors had a 45-point advantage from deep. So such different styles. I think the big thing for me is Steph Curry really got going in that 4th quarter. 14 of his 27 points were in that 4th quarter. Only had 13 through the first 3 quarters. And Klay Thompson started out very, very strong, and then kind of dwindled down there in those last few, the last 3 quarters, because he was, I believe, 4 of 8 right away in that 1st quarter. Very, very efficient, and then the shots just didn't fall continuing going forward. Neither one of them had a real heater. They never exploded like that you kind of sensed could happen this game.
Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be a Steph Curry 50-point game every single time. And the Warriors did have a pretty balanced offense. They've got 4 guys who's at least scored in double digits, 25, 27, 21 for Klay, Steph, and Jordan. So they were spraying it around a little bit. Going back to the free throw discrepancy, okay, 25 makes for the Lakers. They shot 29 times. 5 of 6 for the Warriors. Okay. I'm not going to do ref conspiracy here. I don't think the refs hate the Warriors. But this does stand out for a home team that is the defending champ. I'll just put that out there. Now, with the Warriors' shot selection, though, I don't think you're going to get a Lakers team that's going to foul on all of these Warriors 3-pointers. And if the Warriors are going to have a difficult time getting inside the paint, I do understand why they didn't hear a lot of whistles tonight. Does this make sense, this kind of discrepancy?
It does. I mean, I think it's going to be frustrating to look at, whether it's the fans or anybody else. It's the easiest thing to kind of cry wolf at, right?
They got 20 extra points on the free throw line.
The biggest thing to me is the fact that before the Warriors even took a free throw, the Lakers had already taken 17. In that first half, literally, had already taken 17 before the Warriors even took one. The Warriors took 3 free throws in the entire first half. That was in the final 38 seconds of the first half.
Okay, maybe I'm walking back the conspiracy.
Right, and that's where you go, okay, you need to try to find ways to kind of assert yourself early, right? And that's where the Lakers were able to kind of slow down, where the Warriors couldn't go out and run. And that's also ways where the Warriors can get to the free throw line. When they get out in transition, when they run, when there's a Steph Curry or Jordan Poole running, and then they're able to use their body to get in the body of the Lakers as well. So that's an adjustment going forward, right? Because whenever the Lakers can slow them down, it's advantage Lakers for them, right? Because they were able to get down low, use Anthony Davis in the paint, use LeBron James in the paint, and use him as an off-ball person to kind of fill out the Warriors' defense. So the biggest thing for me, though, is the fact that the Lakers had 17 before the Warriors even took a single free throw.
Okay, thank you for crystallizing that for me. Somehow I missed that during the game. You also jogged my memory, because wasn't there a moment where Steph Curry asked the referee, "Can I please have that same foul that Schroeder just got?"
Yes, there definitely was.
So, okay, I completely understand the frustration. Yeah, looking at that free throw disparity, that is something to keep an eye on for next game.
Certainly.
All right, we are waiting for some of the Warriors to come to the podium, but LeBron and AD were a package deal at the Lakers podium postgame. Let's take a listen.
AD, everyone knew coming into this series, when you look at the Warriors lineup, that you could be a featured part of the Lakers attack. What do you think allowed you to be so effective tonight?
The guys gave me the ball, and the guys just getting the ball to me in the right spots. A lot of it came off pick and roll, a couple post ups, some offensive rebounds, but just being aggressive when I do catch, looking to score or looking to play make to other guys. But it was the guards, finding me early, which allowed them, to play free later on in the game.
LeBron, this team has been through challenges throughout the course of the season, continuity, ups and downs, all sorts of different stuff. What did you think of the mental resolve to withstand a 14-0 run in this building late and to close those guys out with poise?
That's been us since we, made the acquisitions to our new guys. We've been able to be very resilient in games. Like I said, we've been playing playoff basketball for about 2.5 months now, just trying to, punch our clock in to be able to play right now in the postseason. So, we've been very resilient. And tonight versus a team like Golden State, the defending champions, and we know how great they are on their home floor over the years. So to withstand that, and it's another good step for our ball club.
Anthony, just kind of thinking about Game 2 and adjustments that Golden State might make. They had Looney on you for most of the game. Draymond kind of took over late. What are the ways that you think that changes once they go maybe a little smaller, or Draymond plays a more 5? And what do you expect from them in their building in Game 2?
Well, it's going to be a different game. Obviously, they're going to make adjustments. We're going to make adjustments. The building will be probably a little bit louder. Obviously don't want to go down 0-2. So the crowd's going to be more into it, but we're going to continue to, I'm going to continue to be aggressive. I know our guys are going to continue to be aggressive. Obviously, we know that Draymond, likes to help. So we'll probably, if they do decide to put him on me, figure out ways I can be effective, with him doing this thing defensively. But who knows? We'll see what happens in Game 2. If they make that adjustment, if they don't, and still trying to find ways to attack.
What would you guys make of the defensive game plan tonight, and just your ability to wall off the paint? And obviously they take 53 threes, but felt like you guys kind of were controlling them defensively.
We got to do a better job. I think even though late, they made a run, and I think throughout the second half, just only giving up 48 points, that's really good. But We had a couple laws where we allowed those guys, Steph, Klay, and Jordan, to get some looks that, if we're really tuned in, it won't happen because they're going to get their looks anyways. So we can't have our own personal problem mistakes. So we got to be better. We got to be better. We love the game plan, but we got to be better as the guys on the floor.
Yeah, AD, as much as you've dominated in the postseason, do you feel like you're proving people wrong, or does that matter to you?
It doesn't matter to me. I don't care what no one thinks. Only, the guys in the locker room, coaching staff, it's only opinions that I care about. Other than that, I just go out and play basketball, try to do what I can do to help the team win. Opinions outside the locker room, what guys say, guys think, is irrelevant to me.
All right, somebody wears his sunglasses at night. And Dalton, this is what you tweeted post-game. I'll ask you a very simple question. What do you notice about AD's shot chart?
It's just much different. I mean, look at the way he's able to maneuver on the rim, left side, right side. His mid-range right there, you can count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All those different kind of ways he can find ways to produce on offense, right? I mean, he was 11 of 19 from the floor. He shot basically 58% from the field on the Warriors. The last time that the Warriors played the Lakers in the regular season, Anthony Davis put up 39 points. That was just a preview of what was to come. And then in that first quarter tonight, 14 points right away, really exerting his will. And again, he's such a different player than Domantas Sabonis, where Kevon Looney, Draymond Green, they were able to completely sag off of Sabonis, right? And they really dared him to shoot. There were times tonight where the Warriors did the same with Davis. It's different. That's not going to work as well, right? So we pin this down as a Steph Curry versus LeBron James showdown for obvious reasons. But in my eyes, really, Anthony Davis might be the biggest X factor going forward, and he showed why tonight.
Yeah, so 30 and 23 right there. And when the Warriors are shooting these threes, they're like, well, maybe we do need to go inside. You've got AD waiting for you. Take a look at this, because I do want to point out something smart that Jordan Poole did. Instead of going up for one of those ill-advised layups, okay, this is the third quarter, he notices as he curls off Draymond there, AD's waiting for him, so he pulls back, okay? Has a second chance, but shoot, LeBron's there, okay? This is what the Warriors are going to deal with in this series. Much better interior defense. It's going to be frustrating for them, especially when AD has games this big.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Davis had 4 of their 10 blocks. Let me repeat that. 10 blocks. It's just super hard when you have an Anthony Davis, a LeBron James, a Jared Vanderbilt. There's multiple ways that the Lakers can throw their different big bodies at the Warriors right now, right? So whether it's a mid-range, whether it's just kind of catching fire from deep, but I really think it's going to be finding ways to use their body and get in the Lakers' chest, because again, you can't have these, ill-advised or lazy layups or kind of trying to just go over the top of the Lakers. That's not how it's going to work. I'd love to just see them go strong, go shoulder to chest, and do whatever you can to get to the free throw line. Yes, there's still going to be some blocks from the Lakers. They're big, they're strong, they're a great interior defense. But the Warriors have to be able to get to the free throw line more than 6 times. It just slows everything down for them. And once you see a few of those shots fall from the free throw line, everything else starts to open up for you, right? That's what I would love to see going forward from the Warriors.
Yeah, you're exactly right. If we're going to spotlight that AD had 23 rebounds, we need to make sure we say Kevon Looney had the same. This is going to be tough for Loon and Draymond, but we know they're up for the task. All right, when we come back, Klay Thompson sat down at the podium. We'll have his thoughts on this Game 1 loss when we come back on Dubs Talk, brought to you by Fit Aid.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Fit Aid Clean Energy and Sports Recovery, the energy drink for athletes. Fit Aid Energy is naturally sweetened with only 15 calories, no sucralose, no aspartame, and no compromises.
Back up on YouTube. Thanks as always to our regulars for joining us. I see Vince, Shannon, Otis, D, Eric. You know who you are. Oh man, lots of people popping off about the free throw disparity in this game. 29 attempts for the Lakers, 6 for the Warriors. You're exactly right. That's something that has to change in the next game. Also, somebody mentioned that, just reflecting on what Draymond said, that picking up 3 early fouls kind of put him in a weird rhythm for this game. Draymond felt off.
I wish that I said that when I was talking about Anthony Davis earlier, because that was so apparent to me right away. Those 3 fouls. And Draymond just couldn't get a rhythm after that. He didn't have a big impact. I think he had 4 rebounds the entire game. So he just wasn't able to exert his will. And when you have those 3 early fouls, you don't feel like you can be as aggressive or physical with an AD, a LeBron, right? So they have to make sure that whether it's a Draymond, a Kevon Looney, Andrew Wiggins, they can't be in foul trouble early. Draymond has to make sure it's 1, maybe 2 for fouls early, because we know when his energy is like a 12 out of 10, a 14 out of 10, that's when it gets going. If it falls down even to an 8 out of 10, big difference for him.
Yeah, big difference for him. I was even watching, it almost looked like Steph could have been in foul trouble. He had 3. Looking at all of the starters, everybody had 3 among the starters. Jordan Poole with 5. That's got to be a strategy for the Lakers, too.
For sure.
Frustrate the heck out of the Warriors, see if they can interrupt that rhythm. No questions after that, just an observation. Yep. Just kind of scrolling through here. Somebody said LeBron is yawning. He's tired. Maybe he played.
They better hope he's tired.
Yeah, maybe. We're coming.
Mental and emotional adjustment was it to go from that Kings series, really different opponent, pretty quickly to turn around and play the Lakers. What was that like to go through?
It was a quick turnaround, but can't dwell on it because you got a really good team over there, and they do things differently than the Kings, but present some big challenges, and saw that tonight. So the morale is not low. We know we let one slip away, but we got an opportunity to watch the film tomorrow and see how we can attack them better.
Klay, Steve was saying before the game that obviously the interior defense of LA is much different from that of the Kings. How much of that is Anthony Davis and how much of that is just the guys that surround him in the paint area?
A lot of it's Anthony Davis. I think he was averaging 4 blocks a game during these playoffs, so it's our job to hunt great shots, and I thought we got some really good looks tonight, especially for myself. Didn't go in the way I wanted them to, especially in that second half, but like I said before, it's one game, and we got another opportunity to even it out on Thursday.
Klay, what do you do to control the foul trouble that you guys had for game 2?
Just continue to just make a mental note and be mindful that this team thrives at going to the free throw line, and I think they would rather play a slower pace than getting up and down with us. So we have to be more mindful come game 2 about playing with our hands back and living with the shots they take rather than trying to be aggressive and swipe it everything.
What'd you think?
All right, so in Game 7 against the Kings, Klay looked at his line. It was 4 of 19. He called that disgusting. He also said how much he enjoys playing the Lakers. That's been a childhood dream to face this team in the postseason. What kind of spirit did you see Klay Thompson come out with?
We knew he was going to be geared up for this one, right? He said, I've been waiting 12 years for this. That's his entire NBA career. Let's get that straight. And right away, he looked like he was very much in flow of the offense. Started off 3 of 4 shooting. Everything was under control. Some 3-pointers, some of those baseline jumpers. But then he wound up 6 for 21 after that 3 for 4 start, right? So he wound up with 25 points, 9 of 25 overall, 6 of 16 from 3-point range. So early on, it felt like this might be a Klay game, a Klay day, right? And it just, the consistency wasn't completely there, but there was a lot of his game that I liked. He had some really good passes, some nice bounce passes. giving up some shots as well, too. So overall, yeah, you want to see that shot continue to fall for Klay Thompson, right? But I don't think that this was a game where you go, this was a bad Klay Thompson game at the same time.
Yeah, he got his three-point shot going early.
Yes,
I love that for Klay. And then maybe the heat checks started. And here's the thing, when Klay wants something bad, that can be a tightrope, you know what I mean? I love it when he brings that sort of aggression. I love it when he looks for those dagger threes. But when they stop falling, when maybe you go 6 of 13 or 6 of 16. It's like, shoot, okay, does he need to change his approach a little bit? But I understand Klay is going to Klay. I want him to Klay, and he still had 6 threes in this game. All right, Jordan Poole, another guy who you know wanted it in this series, especially because he didn't have a great series against the Kings. Looking at some of these numbers, shoot, I had these numbers earlier. Okay, I'll give you one. So in the Kings series, total, Jordan Poole had 9 threes. He had 6 threes in this game. Okay, so I think he heard some of the criticism. I think he heard some of the you need to do better, and he performed. He showed up with that kind of mindset.
He very much did in that first quarter. I mean, he was held scoreless, 0 for 2 from the field. In the second quarter, we started to see what Jordan Poole can do when he really catches fire. Mm-hmm. He was coming off the screens, setting his feet from three-point range, and really started to drain those deep three-pointers right away. As you said, 6 three-pointers, 6 for 11 overall. But what I like most is the efficiency, where he didn't need to have a high-volume game, taking 25, 30 shots. 7 for 15, you're going to take that every single day with Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
Led the Warriors, I believe, in plus-minus, +7. I don't think he had a turnover. So his game, I think, really might be the biggest positive that you can take away from this loss for the Warriors. Him showing major signs of life. If they can get those 3 guys going, Steph, Klay, and Jordan, where they're all going over 20 points, that's usually a win for the Warriors, right? So Steph and Klay, they had solid games, just not big-time Splash Brother games. Jordan, I thought, had a very good game that you want to see going forward from Jordan.
Yes, you're exactly right. And I always check Jordan's assist-to-turnover ratio, too. 6 assists, 0 turnovers. All right, Jordan Poole had the ball in his hands. His last shot was a 3, which could have tied the game. It did not, but let's review this. Let's take a look at how this unfolded here. So the Warriors down by 3. Steph scoops up the rebound. He's double teamed. Now he's got to get it to somebody. It's going to end up in the hands of Jordan Poole, who at this point had 6 three-pointers. That was a quick one. It was a long one. What did you think about him launching that one?
Yeah, the length, I think, is what's going to jump out right away to people. Seeing that there's still a handful of seconds left on the clock as well is going to stand out to people. But really, Steve Kerr said he liked the shot, and it's easy to see why, because when they doubled Steph like that, he was in rhythm, catching the ball, catch and shoot. So I don't think that you can really get too mad at Jordan Poole about that shot by any means.
Yeah.
It just didn't fall. He had a strong game from three-point range. The final one is one that mattered the most. It clanked out, but I don't think it's something that he should have in his mind tomorrow or the next day by any means. I think she could keep shooting those kind of shots if they're set up for him, because they're going to keep doubling Steph Curry in those situations. No doubt about it.
It was an open shot. So he flew in at the last minute to contest it, but it was an open shot. So at least it was a clean look. I know some people are like, well, he had 10 seconds left on the shot clock. But when you need a 3 to tie, and Jordan has been feeling himself in the game, I understand why he took that shot. So, yeah. You know what? Jordan knows what he needs to do in this series. I think you're exactly right. To have his supplemental scoring off the bench is really important. I do want to go back to his assist to turnovers, because in the Kings series, he cleaned that up as well. 21 assists, 7 turnovers. Again, tonight, 6 assists, 0 turnovers. When turnovers have been an issue for Jordan, if that's one of the simplest things that he can clean up to help stay on the floor, he's doing it right now. I think he has a sense of, I'm a champion. I know the level that I need to play at. And this was nice to see a glimpse of that tonight.
Yeah, he was never really in a rush, as we saw at times in that Sacramento series. He was playing in his control at his own pace. He had a pass that ended up being an assist to Steph Curry that I thought was great, where he could have taken a heat check kind of three-pointer, had someone come out at him, jumped in the air, found Steph Curry down low for a layup. And you're like, okay, that's the kind of playmaking that you can do off of your shot making as well, right? So when Jordan's in the flow of everything right there, it's great to see from Jordan Poole.
All right, when we come back on Dubstock, brought to you by FitAid, we need to take a look at the schedule, okay? I'll just tell you right now, it's games every other day, but let's see how it maps out before the Warriors head to Hollywood. And if we have time, a quick JaMychal Green conversation? Yeah, that's next when we come back on Dubstock Live.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by FitAid Clean Energy and Sports Recovery, the energy drink for athletes. FitAid Energy is naturally sweetened with only 15 calories, no sucralose, no aspartame, and no compromises.
Hey guys, back into YouTube, we've got somebody asking how many turnovers did the Warriors have tonight? That actually was not a trouble spot. They had 8. The Lakers got 9 points off of those. In the Kings game, the last game 7, they had 7 turnovers. So we're seeing a Warriors team that's shown a lot more discipline as far as taking care of the ball.
Yeah, fewer turnovers than the Lakers, made more three-pointers. So when you see them winning the three-point battle like that, when you see them not having a big turnover frenzy by any means, that's usually a recipe for success for the Warriors, right? So there's things that you can hang your hat on and go, okay, this is something that they can build off of. But then there's also, okay, well, is that concerning that they won those battles but lost the game? And the fact that they took 14 more shots and still lost. So it's this weird balance of feeling good, but also going, man, that one might have slipped away from them at the same time.
Yeah, a game with few turnovers. The Lakers had 8 as well. But when the Warriors are under 10 turnovers, that's good. When they get 30 assists, that's good. When they make 21 threes, that's good. But it still didn't add up to a win. So some concerning things for the Warriors going forward. But I think you mentioned this earlier. Game 1 is kind of that feel-out game. The Warriors had yesterday to game plan for the Lakers, although their scout team was taking a look at the Lakers a little bit early. But really, nitty-gritty stuff where you walk through, they only had 1 day to do it.
Yeah.
And this Lakers team looks different than the Lakers they saw earlier in the season because of the series of trades that the Lakers made. So I don't know. As far as the settling in game, there are some positives for the Warriors and negatives that they can identify right away and hopefully change.
Yeah, they're just going to need the scales to balance a little bit better in their way because, again, the positives with the negatives, a lot of it favored the Warriors. Now it's just the free throws, points in the paint, things like that to get back on the Warriors side.
Yeah. All right, we're back on Dubstock Live, brought to you by FitAid. Every other day, the Warriors taking the loss tonight. Back in action Thursday. That game tips off at 6 o'clock, but our coverage with Warriors pregame live starts at 5, and then the weekend will be spent down in Hollywood. All right, the Warriors got a little bit of help from JaMychal Green. He gave them 8 minutes, 2 3-pointers, and it's important that they get some kind of rest, some kind of help for Loon and Dre.
Yeah, they're going to need that. I think it was great to see JaMychal Green stretch the floor as that stretch big man, get away from Anthony Davis, get away from Jared Vanderbilt. So it'll be interesting to see whether it's a Kuminga or JaMychal Green going forward.
There you go. Yeah, Jonathan Kuminga, a DMP, something to think about for the rest of the series. All right, we will continue the conversation on Dubs Talk, the podcast. Thank you for joining us on the show. Hello, Dino, watching from Manila. I was talking to somebody who was watching from Australia. This is really cool. This is the playoffs. We know you guys are invested in your team, so thank you for giving us some of your attention and eyeballs. Yeah, okay, as soon as we mentioned JK, the comments started flying a little bit. Maybe we should talk about that on the podcast. A little mysterious that he's not playing here. Why don't we save that conversation?
Yeah,
Sorry to frustrate you guys, but we might save that for the podcast.
Classic tease, folks.
Woo! As you know, we're doing a fresh podcast every night after each game. So if you want the conversation to continue, please join us there. Dalton, Kerith, we'll see you Thursday. Night, everybody.